Welcome. Fuchi Freedom Friday.
Today is October 28th, 2016.
The title of the show is Demonic Group Think. Demonic Group Think. Like the movie 1984, the book 1984.
Yes.
The movies 1984. Several versions. Mm-hmm. We watched, what was it, the 1950 version? The other day? It was the older version.
The very first one.
I like that one.
I did too. I thought it was really good.
Really
I liked it a lot better than the other one.
Yeah. So anyway, it's those of you who know what I'm talking about. Most of you do. It's groupthink. And so the stories today are selected to show you this kind of
thinking
push. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get everybody in conformity, mm-hmm. to think one way, to punish those who think differently, to lash out and strike those who may have an opposing view, who don't quite fit others' little circle of what others think
is normal,
or what you should be. And most of them are liberal people type of thing. So anyway, welcome to a Freedom Friday Hour. That's what we're going to talk about. It's an alternative news podcast with a conservative perspective, which reminds me to read the disclaimer. Last week I didn't read the disclaimer, and maybe it's been a couple of weeks since I read the disclaimer, but I need to do this because there are people out there who get offended by me. I offend people because I say stuff on this show that offends them. I don't mean to. I really, honestly, I don't stay up at night thinking, well, what can I say to really work people's nerve? I don't do that. I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to stay in my lane, people. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to bother you. I'm just trying to stay in my lane. Mm-hmm. And, I have a gift.
Mm-hmm. And a message.
Miss KAPOW has gifts, and a message. We read the news, we watch things, we see the world turning the way it is. We look at it with a biblical perspective. Believe it or not, Ms. KAPOW and I are very, very much into the Word of God. I mean, every day we read and study the Word of God, not because we're cool and righteous and such good Christians. It's just because it fascinates us. We love the Word, mm-hmm. And so that perspective then comes out in these types of podcasts. So we do think we have a message and a purpose, but sometimes, I do say things and I offend people. And so they will let me know that I offend them. And so it's a shame. So anyway, that's why I got to do this disclaimer, because if you're easily offended, and I'm going to try to tone it down today, really, because every time somebody gets on me mm-hmm. for something I say, it does take a little piece out of me.
It does.
It takes a little bit out of me, and then I go, okay, are they basically saying what's true? Okay, maybe I need to ramp that down. And over the years, I've had, and you know what? I'm telling you, they're all Christians. All my attacks come from Christianity.
Yep.
An atheist has yet to email me or contact me and say, we don't agree with your gospel message. There's never an atheist or a Satanist or a witch. It's always a Christian brother or sister that attacks me. And so what happens is then the next time I do a show or something, then I go, I ramped that down. I got it, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, years ago, I offended that guy.
It plays on your head.
Well, it does. And so then I start being careful what I say. Mm-hmm. And then by doing that, then it takes away the very thing that makes people like this show mm-hmm. is perhaps my bluntness in being able to say those things they wish they could say.
Right.
So then I become...
Well, it compromises.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And even now, as I select words, I'm trying to be very careful with my words because I don't want anybody getting a tizzy.
Yeah, but that's not good.
I know it's not good, but that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's called groupthink. It's called Christian groupthink. And so it's like, well, a Christian needs to act this certain way. A Christian needs to feel this certain way. A Christian needs to behave this certain way, not because of biblical standards, but because of the tradition that I've learned from church and what I think you should be as a Christian. So I'm going to judge another master's servant. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And so they throw this judgment on you, and they're like, but I really don't want to offend people. I don't like fighting with people either. Mm-mm. But, I do bite back. I have to bite back. I'm like a big black lab. You can pet me, but sometimes a pit bull comes out. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, disclaimer. The show you're about to listen to is a unique conservative perspective, and it is and will be loaded with plenty of politically incorrect controversy. This podcast, we think, adds truth and value to the mature, disenfranchised Christian who is tired of the powerless mainstream Christianity we see today. The podcast is a punch in the face to liberalism, socialism, Satanism, sensitive cultural Christianity. This show exposes evil in politics, religion, alternative news, current events, and the present apostate church. So if you are a mature person, this is important because really our audience is kind of an older audience. Mm-hmm. Really is. We really don't target...
Seasoned as
They're
well.
seasoned. Now, we do have millennials listening to us. Mm-hmm. We do. But they're of a different sort.
You have to have ears for this kind of stuff.
You do. You do. So when we look at our stats, our statistics, we have more of a mature audience, mm-hmm. age-wise. And age-wise brings in a little more, life experience. Mm-hmm. So they see things a little differently. So that's that's kind of who we're geared for. So anyway, so if you're a mature person with real-life experience in a real-life world, that means, you've actually been through some life,
right?
And you're frustrated with the modern church and its phony business model and desire a deeper, more satisfying relationship with God, we think the podcast is for you.
Right.
But if not, if you're like, what, I haven't been around that long. I'm still caught up in churchianity. I still listen to Christian music and read Christian books and go to Christian movies. All that. This place is not for you. You're just going to get offended. Because you're going to go, I thought you were a Christian, and you said this about this. I've offended people. A couple of years ago, I offended that brother when I was talking about, what was her name, Madeline O'Hare? Mm-hmm. And I called her some names. Mm-hmm. The atheist, Madeline O'Hare, the one who took prayer from school. Right. I called her some names, and he got mad at me because I called her names. Not because Madeline O'Hare took prayer out of schools and she's an atheist, because I called her a name. And he even said that he couldn't even let his kids listen to the show because I would say stuff and that wasn't appropriate for kids, and that he was embarrassed because he was listening to me at work,
right?
And even the other people at work are like, what are you listening to? Mm-hmm. So that made me feel kind of bad. He went away and listened to other shows, but I never forgot that, and of course I never talked about Madeline O'Hare again. So once again, it takes a little piece out of you. I offended a Christian gal not too long ago when we did a story on some wife who stabbed her husband over a hot dog or something like that. Remember that? And she thought we were making fun of domestic violence.
Yeah, and we weren't.
No, I'm talking about the demons inside of people and how ridiculous they are. Not the, you know what I mean? But, see, most of these people are they're raised liberal from their education, system. Right. They're millennials. They're young. They think a certain way, and they have a lean towards a socialistic, secular, humanistic philosophy. Right. So what they do is they filter their Bible, their Christianity, through a secular humanism. Mm-hmm. We gotta love everybody. There's flowers, and everybody's God is love. And that. Oh, see, I just pissed somebody off. I just know I did because I just made fun of them. But so that's a disclaimer. So you have no excuse. If you get mad at me today, you have no friggin' excuse. Mm-hmm. And I just ask you, if you get mad and I offend you, just then don't listen.
Yeah, just go away.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking. I don't need you. I really don't. I don't ask for money. I don't take money. This is all free. I don't need you. If you have a question and you want me to clarify it, that's different. Mm-hmm. Glad to do that. But don't give me a hard time. Mm-hmm. Just go do your own thing. Yeah. You don't like what I do, go do your own thing. I'm just trying to stay in my lane. I just want you to stay in your lane.
Right.
Is that clear? See, I just wasted 10 minutes doing a disclaimer because people are stupid. They're weird. Oh, I just called them stupid. Uh-oh.
Okay, let me give the scripture of the day, shall I?
Yeah.
I'm going to read from Zephaniah, first chapter, start with verse 14. It says, "The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land."
Excellent. And what's the date? When is all this going to happen?
It doesn't say. Soon, though.
Can you do a guess?
It says soon.
Okay.
It's about as good as I was going to get, Jerry Bear.
On the next red moon?
Pink.
Pink moon. October is pink? Pink month.
Pink,
Wear pink. All right. I'm going to start off. We're going to talk about demonic groupthink, and all these stories have this demonic groupthink theme in it. So sometimes the stories are just the stories, but what I want you to do is look beyond that, and I'm going to try to point these things out to you about the groupthink. I'm going to start off with this little quote here, and I'm just going to do the quote, then I'll tell you who said it. Well, I'll let you guess who said it first, and then I'll tell you, and the circumstances, all right? Yeah. Here's a quote. "When the resolution of enslaving America was formed in Great Britain, the British Parliament was advised by an artful man who was governor of Pennsylvania to disarm the people, that it was the best and most effectual way to enslave them, but that they should not do it openly, but weaken them and let them sink gradually. I ask, who are the militia? They consist now of the whole people, except a few public officers." End of quote.
Wow.
You ever heard of such a thing? Mm-mm. This is a quote that talks about a resolution of enslaving America. This resolution was formed in Great Britain to enslave America. And the governor of Pennsylvania advised the British Parliament, advised them the best way to enslave Americans was to disarm them.
Wow.
But don't do it like in their face. Mm-hmm. You'll never make it. They said, don't do it openly. Weaken them. And then let them sink gradually.
Wow.
I'm serious, folks. And then the quote talks about who's the militia. Well, it's everybody except for a few public officers. Mm-hmm. They don't want the militia. See, the right to keep and bear arms isn't so much about your right to defend yourself in your home, or, that's what they make. The right to keep and bear arms is to protect society from a tyrannical government.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Absolutely. So guess who said that? Guess, this is a quote I just read to you about enslaving America. It's a very real quote. Mm-hmm. It's not made up. This is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Who's talked about the resolution of enslaving America and taking away the arms? Who said this? Okay, I want the audience to guess.
Can I say it?
I heard somebody say Hillary. No, Hillary did not say this.
George Mason of Virginia.
No.
Back in 1788.
1788. Virginia's U.S. Constitution Ratification Convention. This is when George Mason said this. 1788. Folks, groupthink's been going on since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Groupthink has been going on since day one. So when you see the attack on your arms, your firearms, the ability to defend yourself, the ability to form a militia against a tyrannical government, when you see that attack, this is something that's been going on since day one.
Right.
When you see them not taking away your arms openly, but weakening you through these laws, through these excessive background checks, through these excessive legislative acts that restrict the regular citizen. When you see that, that's all part of a plan for you as an American to sink gradually. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe you're listening and go, I don't like guns. They scare me. Well, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Whatever. You just sit around with your thumb up your butt, and the rest of us will protect you when it goes down. Uh-oh, I just offended Christian brother out there. Oh, I did. I just offended Christian brother out there. Don't contact me. Just go listen. Go listen to somebody else, because I'm going to say stuff like that. Because this is real. This is real life. Right?
Right.
I'm not sitting around in some little church in a Sunday school. I'm not in a little corner somewhere. This is real life. This stuff is really happening right now. Your America, your country is changing, and it is changing to the worse fast. Trump isn't going to save you, folks. Mm-mm. And Hillary is certainly not going to save you. This country is sinking fast. And I'm not going to go as far and say it's under the judgment of God, because I don't know that. Mm-hmm. God hasn't come down to me in a dream and revealed that to me. But it certainly seems like it. Mm-hmm. At some point, you got to pay for the piper.
Right.
At some point, you got to pay for the band.
These are the consequences of our actions.
Yep. And we're going to sink into a socialist, tyrannical, enslaved people. Mm-hmm. You mark my word. Ask Brother Marcos. He's always about 5 years ahead of us. Now he's about 3.
He still thinks 5.
He still thinks 5, but next week hasn't happened yet. Wait till next week happens. Wait till after the election happens. We'll go back to 3 or 2. Yeah. Plus Americans still have arms. They don't. Wait till those are
taken.
Yeah. Wait till it's $8 a bullet. So that's the quote. Isn't that something?
Something.
So groupthink. It's been around a long time. You got to recognize it. Mm-hmm. You got to recognize it. And that's, and really I opened up the show talking about the disclaimer of this show, because it's part of Christians contacting me that you shouldn't say that, or you should do this, or you should feel this way, or that's part of getting me to conform to their groupthink. Mm-hmm. And it's witchcraft, folks. It's plain witchcraft.
Because anything that manipulates is witchcraft.
Trying to manipulate me. And I told this brother last week that. I did. I'm honest with him. We did an email exchange. We hashed this thing out. Mm-hmm. But that's what I try to explain to him. You are trying to manipulate me. It's Christian witchcraft. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he ever saw that or not. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying, but his thinking is wrapped. It's filtered through humanism. Mm-hmm. And I said something last week that really set him on edge, type of thing. Get me to conform. And it does. It bugs me. It does. I'll be honest with you. It does take a little piece out of me each time. Because then I think, what's the sense? I do this for free. It's not going to make any money. What's the sense?
Right.
If people don't want to hear it, then what am I doing here? I know other podcast hosts. I know them personally, who they do a podcast once a week. They put it up, and they have 8,000 listeners within 3 or 4 days. And they love it. Because they talk about,
Non-controversial things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Maddona. Talk about groupthink. Maddona at a Amy Schumer. Is that her name? Schumer?
Yeah, she's that comedian actress.
Is she funny?
No, she's vulgar, actually.
Well, she had Maddona at her concert. Was that what a comedian has as a concert?
I guess. Or a show, yeah.
Madonna's there, and she made an offer to the people attending that show, and she pledged to give, there's a proper word for it, but I'm going to say blowjob. Oh, it's fellatio. Fellatio. I'm going to say blowjob. So if you get offended,
just go away.
Go away. She offered the audience a blowjob if they would vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Are you serious? You see the group thing here. These, to be able to say that in a public forum shows you the mindset. It's a filthy, dirty mindset, is it not?
Oh,
these are filthy, dirty
definitely.
people on
It's
both
nasty.
sides. They're filthy, dirty people on both sides.
It's nasty.
She was introducing Amy Schumer, and she says, if you vote, this is quote, if you vote for Hillary Clinton, I will give you a blowjob, okay? I'm not going to read the rest of it, but she talks about her skills and how good she is and what she would do.
Gross.
And it's graphic, okay? So as crude as I am, I'm not going to even read that. And I guess some people were saying, was that legal? Because it's generally illegal to exchange anything of value for a vote, right? So they looked into it, and things, unless you can place value, or unless Madonna placed a value on her blowjob, then it wasn't illegal to say that.
Of course not.
No. Groupthink. How could you imagine just a few years ago something like that being said?
Oh, she would have been booed off the stage.
Unbelievable.
Well, look how far we've come then.
Yeah. Down the trash hole.
When it's acceptable.
Okay.
And no one blushes anymore.
No.
That's...
No, it's disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting. But for that to even be able to be said, absolutely amazing.
Yep.
Groupthink. They own the media. They own everything. People who do nothing but watch the regular cable news networks or TV networks, they're different than what you are listening to, like podcasts and other alternative news and stuff like that. And they absolutely believe what they see and hear. And it's amazing just how dumbed down people have become.
Amen.
The media. One of my favorite stories is universities and the stuff they're doing to these kids. I blame the kids a lot too, for doing these things. But it's the adults in the universities doing this stuff. Universities ban politically incorrect Halloween costumes. What a shock, right? What a shock.
Yep.
But in a latest measure to create a safe space for students, a number of universities have issued costume protocol banning such un-PC Halloween costumes as Arab turbans, feathered Indian headdresses, Japanese geisha outfits, and Caitlyn Jenner costumes.
Oh, they have Caitlyn Jenner costumes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Caitlyn Jenner. You can't wear Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know why.
I know.
Who's going to...
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Groupthink. You see, they're forcing it. Not every kid going to a university that's participating in this stuff doesn't have this kind of groupthink. It's being forced on them.
Yep.
Understand that? Then when they get out, this is what they've learned. This is the way they think. Brock University in Ontario, Canada, for instance, has set up a website laying out its Halloween costume vetting protocol, complete with a list of offending costumes and pictures of inappropriate wear.
Wow.
In a twisted bit of illogic, the university stated, in order to create an inclusive and diverse environment, some costumes may be denied.
Wow.
Really? to create an inclusive and diverse environment. Apparently, inclusive and diverse here means if your costume is too diverse, you will not be included.
Mm-hmm. See?
It doesn't make sense.
No, it's, hypocrisy.
Yeah, so they say if a member of your party is denied entry because of their costume, they'll be escorted to a space where they can change or remove the offending item.
Oh, for the love of pizza.
They will not lose their place in line during the process, and then they can enter the place once the costume has been deemed appropriate by team of Isaac's Bar and Grill Management and Student Justice Center staff.
Oh, wow.
So if some kid is dressed like a Ninja Turtle, you could be offended because you can say, well, I have Japanese descent and or Chinese descent. Where does ninjas come from? Japan or China? I don't know.
The Orient.
Yeah, I think they're Japanese. So this guy is absolutely right. One commenter wrote, "Obey the thought police. Welcome to 1984," and he's absolutely right. This is 1984 demonic groupthink.
Yes,
that's what it is, and it's being forced on you day in and day out. It's being forced on you.
Yep, we're being molded.
Yeah, and that's why I get upset. I'm sorry to keep harping on it, but that's why I get upset when I offend people, and then they've got to, in Christian love, tear me down. Mm-hmm. Instead of just going, well, I don't agree with them, I'm going to go somewhere else. Like what most adults would. Quit trying to groupthink me.
Right.
It's not going to work. My mind's already blown.
Yep.
I'm already a mental retard.
You're already jaded.
I am. I'm already jaded. Too many years, I'm already retarded. You're not going to fix me. University of Florida. Officials have warned students about sporting offensive costumes. Once again, they appeal to diversity. They say some Halloween costumes reinforce stereotypes of particular races, genders, cultures, or religions. What are you supposed to go as?
I know. Potato sack.
But that could offend people from Idaho. Because they got don't they grow potatoes in Idaho? Idaho potatoes?
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you picking on people from Idaho?
Or they might think it's a clown suit. Ooh.
Well, then you offend the killer clowns.
Exactly.
Who have now unionized. Regardless of intent, these costumes can perpetrate negative stereotypes, causing harm and offense to groups of people. In a scathing article in Forbes last spring, the noted historian Paul Johnson called political correctness, I love this, quote, one of the most dangerous intellectual afflictions ever to attack mankind, end of quote.
Wow.
Well, I bet he got a lot of hate mail for that. Political correctness has enormous appeal to the semi-educated, he observed. Semi-educated,
what does that say?
If you're not very bright, very educated, you like this political correct stuff,
basically,
don't you?
Stupid people.
Yeah. Stupid people like this.
Ignorant people.
And it appeals to pseudo-intellectuals everywhere since it evokes the strong streak of cowardness notable among those wielding academic authorities nowadays. That's what he says. Here he goes on. Listen to this guy. He says, any empty-headed student with a powerful voice can claim someone, never specified, will be hurt by a hitherto harmless term, object, or activity, and will be reasonably assured that the dons and professors in charge will show a white feather and do as the student demands.
Wow.
Thus, there isn't a university campus on either side of the Atlantic that's not in danger of censorship, he concluded. Man.
It's harsh.
Yes. Now, check this out, Ms. KAPOW. If in spite of all warnings, any previous flower happens to be traumatized by a particular costume at the University of Florida, guess what they're doing? Officials have set up an emergency. I'm not lying to you. An emergency hotline to help soothe anxious spirits.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
You call,
can't.
bring, emergency hotline.
Oh my goodness!
And
Can you imagine how annoying that would be to work that hotline?
Who are they going to get? They got to get people who are like psych students or something, counseling. And then that little voice on the other end. I'm sorry, I was going to the Halloween party and somebody was dressed as a taco. A taco? Did it offend your Hispanic senses?
Yeah.
No, my Christian senses. I like Christian tacos, and he was dressed as a Christian taco.
Oh, for the love of pizza.
Well, yeah, maybe he didn't have cheese on the taco. I mean, your costume was incomplete without cheese.
Incomplete without cheese.
No, it's just ridiculous. I mean, come on. Really?
Yeah.
It's group think. It's demonic. Mm-hmm. This is not of God. Who is the author of confusion?
Satan.
Who is the author of peace?
The Lord Jesus.
Power. Sound mind, which means intellect. Who's the author of that?
The Lord Jesus.
Right. So this stuff can't be from God?
Nope.
If you're troubled by an incident the website counseled, please take advantage of the 7-day-a-week presence of the You Matter, We Care program, which includes an email address as well as a 24/7 counselor in the Counseling and Wellness Center available to speak by phone. You know what is bad is that these kids will they're going to graduate and they're going to be they're going to be your like insurance agent or your God forbid your doctor or healthcare provider. They're if the world lasts that long. Yep. I can't imagine.
They can't survive out here.
The first time their boss, like an older boss or something, it says something to them, they're gonna flip.
Yep.
Let's take a break, and then we'll be right back. I got some more yelling to do.
I don't know what all this fuss is about these penicillins. I think the scientists are doing a great job.
Clueless? In the dark?
I think the government's doing a good job.
Have no idea what is really going on? I have an app for that. KAPOW Radio Show app for iPhone and iPad. KAPOW Radio Show app for Android. Get the app. Get a clue.
Hey, Vinny. I love politicians. I think they've got my best interest in mind.
Get the app. Get a clue. FifthHookMedia.com.
We're back.
We're back.
Okay. The story is not about body shaming on women. The story is not about women being able to wear what they want. The story is not about some guy who wrote a satirical piece, or maybe he's just a curmudgeon. Maybe he was wrong. I don't know. The story is about groupthink. Mm-hmm. This was sent to us by our beloved brother Marcos.
Thank you, Marcos.
Parading to support women in yoga pants after a man's letter. Great headline. You don't know what the heck that means. This was Rhode Island. The saga between, it began Wednesday with a letter to the editor in a local Rhode Island newspaper. The man wrote a letter and he criticized women over 20 who wear yoga pants in public.
Uh-oh.
Quickly it snowballed into a yoga pants parade Sunday afternoon with hundreds of people walking past the letter writer's house. But see, it's not just there. He gets death threats. It gets death threats. Now, the guy who wrote the letter said he had only intended it as satire.
Right.
Now, whether that's true or not, here's what he said. He goes, to all yoga pant wearers, I struggle with my own physicality as I age, wrote Alan Sorrentino. He's 63 years old. And he said, I don't want to struggle with yours. He says, the letter, which said adult women wearing yoga pants in public, was comparable to men wearing Speedos to the grocery store. That went viral. The backlash was immediate, passionate, and international.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, this goes to show you that this kind of thinking is global.
Yes. He said it was supposed to be funny.
Scary.
Because he says, like, what kind of... Here's his attitude. He goes, but what kind of uptight tormented individual could possibly care enough about yoga pants to write such a letter. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. And the story isn't about women in yoga pants. It's about the group think. This guy violated feminism, and not only did... Now, to me, the proper response would have been get somebody who has a brain, or a bunch of people have a brain, and write letters back to the editor.
Right.
And go, what are you talking about, Mr. Allen? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And articulate why that was a horrible thing to write. But they decide to then protest in front of his house.
Be hostile.
And be hostile and say, if you don't think the way we do, we're going to harm you.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, there's no civilized way of working things out. You all just automatically go to the aggressor.
And he's getting death threats.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So somebody says, he goes, so it was written as satire. Like, who would be concerned about yoga pants with all of this political stuff going on? So there was a crowd, included young girls, older women. It met in front of some school. They wore a colorful array of yoga pants. The event was more about than just yoga pants to them, they said. They said, I don't get involved in much in the way of protests and marches and all that, but this just brought me out because the guy's letter was offensive, said some gal. And she had a shirt on that said, mature older woman in yoga pants written on it. It's okay if you're 20 and gorgeous to wear yoga pants, but don't do it if you're older and lumpy and bumpy, she asked. It was the shaming and the policing of women's bodies that struck a chord with the attendees. Now, maybe they read it as shaming, but was his letter really policing women's bodies?
I don't think so.
He has no authority to do anything. He has an opinion. It's called a First Amendment right opinion. Right or wrong, you may not like it. It may have offended these people, but he has that First Amendment. And they have a right, a First Amendment.
That's right.
They do not have a right to threaten him.
No.
It's group think. Comply with our group, or you're going to get hurt. Bad things are going to happen. I'm sure it's not over for this guy.
And it's not balanced either. I mean, there's one person against this whole group.
Oh, yeah.
Of
crazy women.
Yeah.
Crazy women in yoga pants.
Obviously, their pants have restricted the blood flow through to their brain.
Yeah. Now, I don't mind women in yoga pants. It's men in yoga pants that bother me.
Yeah.
And L.A. had a mayor. What's his name? Garcetti. Mayor Garcetti. He wore yoga pants.
And he was pretty gross.
Los Angeles, California mayor wears yoga pants.
Pretty gross.
It's beyond gross. It's
disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, I body shamed him. Yeah.
It's Fuji.
Okay. So the guy, the crowd went on a short walk and a loop. They held yoga pants session. They carried bright pink flags with the words Peaceful Pants Party. Now, check this out. While not directly related to the presidential campaign, the rhetoric of the letter ties into the current political climate. What does that mean? This guy who wrote the letter, they're assuming he's a Trump supporter.
Of course.
It's not tied into the presidential campaign, but the rhetoric of the letter ties to the current political climate.
Hateful.
Yes, these people are Hillary supporters.
And against women.
Yes. You see this? Now, this guy could be a raging liberal Democrat. He just doesn't like women in yoga pants, or he really did write satire. Sure. I don't know. But it goes on, and it said that the guy, Alan Sorrentino, said that the walkers passed by his house, or he put up a sign bearing the words free speech. The police stood on the edge of the property line while some people in the street paused to take photos of the home. He said he received death threats, which he reported to the police. Someone wrote in chalk on the street outside his house that morning, identifying him as the resident. And he says, every little bump, every little noise, I locked my car, I locked my windows, I locked my house, I've locked myself out of my house twice. He said the backlash has caused stress, not just for him, but for his family, friends, and neighbors, who said his partner had decided to leave the home during the parade. So
it's terrible. It really is.
It's demonic groupthink.
It's terrorism.
Yes. You sound like George Bush. Terror.
Please don't insult me.
I know. I'm sorry. You do not have little tulip lips like that. Okay. I'm going to stereotype here. Many gay couples are liberal.
No.
And they're leftist. I am stereotyping. Not all, obviously, but many are. I didn't say all are. I said many are. Now, this is, once again, this story is not about a gay couple attending a Trump rally. It's not even about Trump. This story is not even about politics. This story is about demonic groupthink. Okay? Gay Trump supporters, his name is Cody Moore and Dewey Linhart. They're gay. They were interviewed at a massive Trump rally in Cincinnati in mid-October. 2 gay men go to a Trump rally and they get interviewed. They get a camera shoved in their face. Well, the 2 men told the Wall Street Journal they were tired of the quote-unquote bullshit government and were supporting Donald Trump for president. Right? Well, guess what happened? The video of their interview had 256,000 views over 900 comments. They didn't do the video. The Wall Street Journal did it. Mm-hmm. It went viral. Leftists, these socialist Marxists, these Nazis, the National Socialistic Party, and Hillary supporters are now threatening to kill these 2 guys.
Sure.
At the end of
they oppose.
They left the group. It's not part of the group think. Right?
Right.
At the end of the interview, one of the men says he's a supporter of the Second Amendment. And he says, I look over my back and I do carry. That means concealed carry. I do carry because I love the Second Amendment. What? You're gay and you like guns?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So now they're getting death threats and hate mail. The story's not about Trump. The story's not about guns. The story's not about gays. The story's about groupthink.
Mm-hmm. I have a definition for groupthink I thought was pretty good.
Excellent.
It's the practice of thinking or making decisions as a group in a way that discourages creativity or individual responsibility.
Read that again.
The practice of thinking or making decisions as a group in a way that discourages creativity or individual responsibility.
Wow. Discourages. Man.
Very satanic.
Very satanic. It's manipulation. It's witchcraft.
There you have it.
Witchcraft. It's the sin of witchcraft. Okay. Let's do a You Can't Fix Stupid news desk.
Ooh, yeah.
Where's the music? The music will come on. The news deck music. You know, the one that goes... Dun, 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 dun. Okay. You Can't Fix Stupid news desk.
Yay.
From the Can't Fix Stupid news desk, Miss BumBum pageant sparks anger after contestants recreate the Last Supper painting with the woman with the sexiest BumBum portraying Jesus.
That's disgusting.
You Can't Fix Stupid. This is in Brazil.
Brazil.
And I'm going to send this over to Marcos so that he can march over to the Brazilian government and shut the Miss BumBum pageant down single-handedly with his Marcos authority.
There you have it.
Right?
Right.
Miss BumBum contestants have recreated the... That's what they call it. B-U-M-B-U-M. BumBum.
BumBum.
They've recreated the painting, The Last Supper. They are portrayed as Christ and his disciples wearing orange bikinis. The women voted as having the sexiest bottom is given the role of Jesus. There's a reason why. Because the rest of them hate or envy her because she has the best bottom and they want to crucify her. That's what they say. But the picture has outraged and offended many in in deeply Catholic Brazil. And also, and I will say this for the women here, the BumBum contestants, many of them were like appalled and they did it, but they didn't want to do it, and they just like they're asking for forgiveness, and they're all freaked out about it, and they should be totally, blasphemous. Once again, is a story about BumBum, is a story about, what is it about? The story is about this pageant. The people running obviously are evil Luciferians,
right?
Are mocking Christ, mocking Christianity, and they're forcing it on the people. You will like this. This is art. You will participate. You will. It's group that you will conform to our groupthink. Brazil's Miss BumBum beauty pageant has sparked anger after bikini-clad contestants posed for a recreation of the iconic religious painting, The Last Supper, with the women as the sexiest bottom playing Jesus. In the photo, there's 8 hopefuls in the popular Rear of the Year contest as portrayed by Christ and his disciples on the night before the crucifixion, at a scene that has offended many in the deeply Catholic community. Last night, religious leaders branded the remake of the Da Vinci masterpiece deeply disrespectful, while Brazil's Religious Intolerance Commission waded into the debate as anger over the picture grew. They have a Religious Intolerance Commission over there?
Really?
Wow. I wonder what that's all about. Marcos, what are they about? And even the women competing for the best bottom title last night expressed dismay at being made to pose for the controversial scene, with one claiming she had asked forgiveness from God for a great sin. The BumBum contest is in its 6th year. It's one of Brazil's most hotly disputed beauty contests, with winners becoming overnight celebrities and often going on to earn millions in modeling contracts and endorsements. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Luciferian. After a public vote, the 27 contestants, each representing a Brazilian state, are whittled down to 15, who then battle it out over a live final on November 9th. Anyway, this one gal she won. She was chosen to play Jesus in the photo, as her bottom received the most number of phone votes, making her the front runner. And like I said, the reason why, now she says she regrets agreeing to taking part. She says, I did the photo because of my contract, but I didn't like it and I wasn't happy about it. You can't play around with the word of God. I completely understand why people are being angry about it, because even I'm angry and I'm in it. For me, it's blasphemy. That's what the gal said. She says, I feel really bad deep inside of me. I'm a practicing Catholic. Since I did the photo, my heart is tight inside my chest. I can't sleep. I don't stop thinking about it. I've already asked for forgiveness from God. I asked forgiveness from everyone else. We went too far. We were part of a great sin. That's sad.
Yeah,
that really is sad. This other gal said afterwards, I was filled with remorse. God knows my heart and knows I wasn't being bad. I think we could be controversial in other ways, but not using God's name, not using a biblical story. Let's see. A lot of people, upset about it. Anyway, you could see that. The one plays Jesus is that it was the last meeting of the women before the grand final. It reminded me of the Last Supper. It's the guy who founded it and put this together. He says it was where Jesus was betrayed by Judas because of jealousy. And like it or not, the women with the most votes is also the target of jealousy. She is the center, and the other girls will want to crucify her because she got more votes than them. Okay.
I have no comment.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a little girl. This is also sent to me from Marcos. This is a good one.
Marcos.
Thank you, Marcos. This is a good one. This is one person doing groupthink. This is quite an incredible story. This is a 17-year-old girl, and what she does, I don't know what happened to the headline here. What she does is online, she gets these really weak, socially retarded men to fall in love with her online.
Mm-hmm.
And then she grooms them to commit suicide for her, to do weird, degrading things to themselves. So you talk about groupthink. The story has so many demonic levels, both on the suspect and the victim, and then the manipulation.
It triggers a certain type of mentality.
Yeah, and these guys are, wow.
Yeah.
Socially retarded. Mm-hmm. One guy says, I would consider suicide if she would take herself with me. Her name is Poison Ivy. She's 17.
It's a great name for her.
Yeah. She bullies weak men into degrading themselves online before encouraging them to kill themselves. She's a New Zealand teen. Her name is Hannah, or Poison Ivy. She grooms unstable men. She lures socially awkward guys into sexually degrading themselves. Hannah later entices the vulnerable men to commit suicide. A YouTube video has surfaced calling for victims to report Hannah. Her Twitter is flooded with photos from men declaring their love to her. One lover exclusively said he would consider suicide if she did the same. And they want to know who she is. They're trying to find out who she is. Yeah. In a chilling YouTube video surfaced shedding light on Poison Ivy's seemingly sinister activities and calling for victims to put an end to the abuse. Yeah, she just looks like a little. She looks like a robot, actually, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Does she look like a cyborg?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she looks like one of those robots.
She has her left eye.
Yeah, it's wonky.
The Hillary wonk.
Yeah, it's wonky like Hillary. Yeah, it goes in. Yeah, she has this weird grin on her face.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I treat all men like...
doggy doodle.
Yeah, but she uses the other word.
Slang word.
Yeah, I treat all men like S because they're weak and they deserve it. I bully the weak to make them weaker as I simultaneously grow stronger.
So that's how she gains power.
Yeah. Witchcraft. The clip claims she encourages guys to do disgusting acts via a webcam on a live screen, like showing their genitals, spreading their butt cheeks on camera, and sticking objects up their anus. He said the teenager chooses weak, socially awkward guys who have never had a girlfriend or a social life before luring them into debasing themselves. Says the goal of her victims is to kill themselves for her as an act of love.
Wow.
Man.
She's evil.
Oh, God. Yeah, understatement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking too? Is like, is she even a female? Is it even real? You know, probably some weird dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This girl will not stop until these guys kill themselves. She grooms them for months. Hannah's Twitter bio reads, I treat all men. Oh, I already read that. Her account, which has over 900 followers, is flooded with images of men around the world who love her. Look at this. There's a video clip or a image capture of a guy, and he writes his name all over his body. The other one's right on their forehead. Her name, Hannah.
Oh, her name, yeah.
Yeah, her Hannah. See? They write all over their heads and their bodies. All of them do. Yeah. That weird. Many of the men appear emotionally unstable, bursting into tears while begging for forgiveness. Wow. One of the lovers said he has no problem sharing her with other men, despite the fact that she punishes them for talking to other girls. Her grip on the man he's from Texas, is so strong that he said he would actually think about killing himself if she would do the same. I would consider suicide if she would take herself with me. We basically share her. I'm okay with it. But for a few others take it too far. She tells me what she wants me to do over Skype. I love to Skype, see? So, yeah, I do some pretty weird stuff for her, but it's worth it because she gives me attention.
Wow. That's sad.
Here's what she says on her Twitter account or something. She says, romance is very stupid, and everyone always breaks up in the end, or it ends in some other way. And the only way to do it properly is for a couple to suicide together, because that way they will have been together forever as they surely promised each other. So my dream is to find a male version of myself, precisely like me, but a male, to live hedonistically with in a neat hovel and we just do drugs and have lots of sex and then suicide together.
Wow. Gross. Very gross.
Is that it's kind of like groupthink, but by an individual? Mm-hmm. Right? So anyway, she has these guys shave their eyebrows and their she has them doing all kinds of weird stuff.
Wow.
And for months to groom them to kill themselves. And that was from the, Was that from the Can't You Fix Stupid? No, that was the BumBum Can't Fix Stupid.
Mm-hmm. The BumBum was
well, that also is a good Can't Fix Stupid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, demonic groupthink. Let's talk about future groupthink.
Okay.
If we last that long. I don't know if we're going to last that long.
I
Seriously.
hope not. Well, at the rate that we're going, it's like it's like a cancer.
It is.
You know what I mean? Eventually, all the cells are going to get contaminated with this cancer.
Yeah, it's just going to masticize. And the other day there was a couple of big earthquakes in
Italy.
And I was looking at those pictures, man. It's just rubble, man.
Terrible.
Just rubble. And the word apocalypse has come forward. People are saying it was like the apocalypse. But I was looking at that and I was thinking, we're concerned here in America. We're concerned about the elections. You're concerned with, everybody concerned with global war, Russia, Syria, China. You're worried about the economy. There's a lot of things to worry about, type of thing. And I'm thinking, all God has to do is he just shakes the earth a little bit, just a little shaker, and man, it comes down. So you could be looking at all this nuclear stuff and fighter planes and, your money in your bank account and Obamacare and Hillary and Trump and all stuff. And it just takes a little shaking, man. Mm-hmm. And it's over just like that,
He just has to send one angel.
Yeah.
Jump down here.
Gosh, absolutely. Of course, we've talked about this on other shows, with the Book of Enoch and stuff, where the sky falls. Mm-hmm. The end of time is when the sky falls. And we know that NASA and they're looking at the sky in this way, and here's the asteroid that comes right behind them and hits Russia. I mean, they can't track this stuff.
No. But it's just back to the garden and to the Tower of Babel, where you try to outthink God.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that. They can't do that.
Mm-mm. They try to make their own blessing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that in Genesis 1 prophecy.
Yeah.
People trying to make their own blessing, and then they leave the blessing of God. This is the Netflix boss, the CEO of Netflix. This guy's a kook. Here's what he says. The future of TV could be pills that make people hallucinate. Okay, don't we already have LSD and ayahuasca and a bunch of stuff that makes you hallucinate? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't know how this is all going to work, but he's talking about the Matrix again. The whole movie, The Matrix. He says it might be a blue pill. Now, you never want to take the blue pill. Mm-hmm. You want to take the red pill, right? Because if you take the blue pill, you just go to sleep. And then you wake up the next day, you don't remember what happened, and you're just a drone. But if you take the red pill, then you go down the rabbit hole, right?
Your eyes are open.
And your eyes are open in the movie. So
and you never can go back.
Yeah. So, but he wants people to take the blue pill, and he says it might be the blue pill that makes you hallucinate in an entertaining way. I don't know how you control that. And then another white pill that brings you back to normality. Just like that. And then that's going to be the future of television. The future of TV might be everyone taking hallucinogenic drugs. This is according to the head of Netflix. My goodness, what happens to these guys? Well, I mean...
They're insane.
The threats to the streaming TV company might not be Amazon or other streaming services, but instead... Pharmacological, thank you, ways of entertaining people. His name is Reed Hastings. Mm-hmm. He's the boss of Netflix. Reed. Well, here's what Reed says. And just as films and TV shows are supposedly improved version of other entertainments, those same things might eventually become defunct. In the same way that the cinema and TV screen made the opera and the novel much smaller. Something else might be on the way to do the same thing, he says. You know, he said this too at a Wall Street Journal event. And Hillary was present getting $600,000 for the speech. I just made that up. But, hey, they make stuff up too. Let's throw that out there. Those challenges could come from anywhere, he said. They might not be another form of screen. Is it virtual reality? Is it gaming? Is it pharmacological? There, I said it. There, you said it. That's what Hastings said. He went on to say that it might be possible that in the coming years, someone, that someone could be you, listener, will develop a drug that will make people get the same experiences that at the moment come from streaming services like Netflix. Okay, I'm having a hard time following this guy.
I know it.
Okay, so he's saying you'll take a drug and you'll get the same experience at that moment that comes from streaming services like Netflix. Can I just watch Netflix instead of taking the drugs? Can I do that? Save my liver? I don't know, huh? Can I? Apparently, he's making reference to the Matrix. He said we might be able to take one pill to escape a hallucination and then another to come back. Oh, to escape into
the hallucination.
And then another pill to come back.
Yeah. But who's to say that in the hallucination itself, you don't take the pill to come back?
See, now that's a good...
And then you stay in the hallucination.
Well, see, that's good entertainment right there.
Yeah.
I think this, because you're hallucinating that you lost...
You're not in your right mind.
...the white pill. It fell off your yacht, say, and it fell into the ocean, the Indian Ocean, and there was great white sharks, lots of them. And now you can't get your white pill. In reality, the white pill's sitting right there in the little tray, but you're hallucinating that you lost it. Now you can't get back to reality.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a good show right there. We're going to call it Lost in India.
So how many people have died now?
Millions.
But they're not really dead.
But it's entertaining.
But they're gone mentally.
Yes. But they're having fun. It's like streaming Netflix.
I don't know.
Well, you can't ask them, but you have to assume. Okay, so it's
stupid.
What's wrong with this? You talk about group think. You talk about demonic group think.
But see, if they roll it around enough, they'll think, oh,
we're going to legalize this.
There,
because 20 years ago we legalized marijuana throughout the nation. Not just regular marijuana, hybrid marijuana, concentrated cannabis.
And these stupid thoughts come from the demons themselves, and they're going to help you make it work.
Oh yeah.
So.
People are going to get very rich about this. He says in 20 or 50 years.
See?
That's quite a gap.
Spitballing.
Okay, I'm spitballing. 20 or 50 years, not 20 or 30. Not 30 or 40. Not 40 or 50. In 20 or 50, taking a personalized blue pill. Oh, it's personalized for you. You just hallucinate in an entertaining way. And then a white pill brings you back to normality. He says that's perfectly viable. And if the source of human entertainment in 30 or 40 years is pharmacological, we'll be in real trouble. Oh, so he's not for it. He says we'll be in real trouble. His references to the Matrix and to being in trouble recall arguments that have recently been made by tech billionaires, including Elon Musk.
There you have it.
And Sam Altman. Both have suggested that it might be possible that we are part of a simulated universe, something that they said might be part of a virtual reality world, but could just as easily be the result of a drug-induced hallucination. So there's a big giant somewhere sleeping. He's on drugs, and we're part of his dream, according to these guys. Mr. Hastings didn't indicate whether or not Netflix would look to make such drugs itself or how it would fend off any companies that did. But it does seem a little like something on Black Mirror, which Netflix is showing on the new season at the moment. Whatever. Anyway, it's the story. The story's about groupthink, is what we want to bring out of this. And of course, he's talking in the future of something. But you can see this kind of mentality. You can see drugs being legislated, legalized.
Well, now you'll have to watch TV with a doctor because who's going to administer that medication to
And
you?
you can't afford that doctor, so you have the government pay for that doctor through your
Taxes.
Hillary care. Yeah. And
It's stupid.
only if you make $12 a year can you have the free doctor and the free hallucinating drugs and everything. If you make more than $12 a year, you don't get the government subsidies, and that will then cost you $6,572 a month. I'm not bitter.
Well, hopefully the Lord will be back by then.
I hope so. It's just disgusting. I'm not bitter, though. I'm not. I'm very happy. I'm like a clown. I'm like a circus clown.
You're like a circus
I
clown.
got a little
Jerry.
clown car. I wear clown shoes. Okay, I think I've done enough damage.
Okay.
I think people feel sorry for me now. I really do. I think they probably go, we feel sorry for Brother KAPOW.
They'll be sending you cheese.
If they
Cheese
love,
and crackers.
They love me, they would. If they love me. You know what? There could be, you could make a pill someday. You take a pill and you just hallucinate that you're like in a room of cheese and things like that. You're a rat in a big cheese factory. And then you go like, I'm going to take the cheddar cheese, which is white pill, and then it brings you back down to reality or whatever. But I don't know. It's kind of stupid. Why would you want to come back to reality if you're...
Yeah, because the reason why you went out of reality is because you didn't like the reality you were in.
Yeah, and you wanted to eat cheese. So why would I want to come out of the cheese?
Well, especially if you had cheese everywhere.
Oh yeah, I'd never return. I would. I would never return. You know, and they said we knew him when. Just drooling one side of my face. It's so good. I'm pretty close to that right now. I'm pretty mentally going.
All right, folks. It was good to be with you today. And we say, ciao, baby.